everybody, this is Venus from Heart's Desire by Venus, and I wanted to show you a little project that you can do to add to your junk journals. So I'm working on these vintage romantic wedding kind of themed junk journals, and I wanted something a little different to pop out in the pages. So this is what I've come up with. Excuse my camera angle right now, but this is the only way I can get this whole thing to pop up really well with you to see on my camera. I think I need a better tripod. So you're just flipping through your journal pages, you know, the same things, and then you get to this one. Now it's very flat. When you pull it open, it's a 3D flower. I thought it was very cool. So you can see I'm just going to slowly close it so you can see the pages are very flat. And you pull it open and your flower opens up. I thought this was just the most spectacular thing I've ever seen for in here. Now, I did watch a whole bunch of videos where people did little versions of this on cards and things like that, and I wanted to play around and figure out how to make this work in my journals. I'm going to do it one more time because it's just so much fun. So you can see your journal, you're not losing any space on this. It's pretty flat. And you just pop it up. That is the cutest thing I've ever seen. So that's what I'm going to show you to do today. So I'm just going to adjust my camera angle a bit better here. Okay. So in order to do this, you need 7 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Now this is for a journal size that measures 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Because I'm just doing, you know, a regular kit where the paper is folded in half. So with that sizing, you need 7 squares, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 to make this work. Now, if you're going to do this on a different book, I'd say, you know, do the technique once or so, and then you can play around and make it larger or smaller to fit however you want. So in a couple of mine here, the one that you saw, that was digital print paper on copy paper, a digital print. These ones here, avocado dyed paper, and the end result one that I'm going to do, you will see it's on using old book pages, leftover book pages. So you can see as long as it's foldable, flexible, not too stiff, you can use that paper for this. So it's not terribly difficult. So what I'm going to do is once you've got your little squares cut, and again, you need 7, that's an important number, I'm just going to slide a piece of paper under here so that you can see my folding. You're going to take your square, you're going to fold it in half as a triangle, and I do recommend burnishing these as you go because the crisp shape will help. And then you're going to take your triangle and you're going to fold it to the one side, make it a second triangle. And then you're going to do it again. You're going to fold that into a smaller triangle. Just like when you make snowflakes. Same concept. Okay, so you're going to do that to all 7 pieces. Then what you're going to do is you want to make a petal shape. So on this one, I just drew a petal shape out. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to cut that petal shape out, which I did here on this one for you to see. So that when you open it up, that would be your petals there. Okay, so do that on all 7. Once you've done that, what I have done, because here's my 7, is I have inked them all up. For here, I inked them all up. And the side that I want to be showing is the side I did a lot of the inking on. The other one I just did a little bit because you might see a bit of it when you're overlapping it. So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't stark white. So once you've done that, I'll just cut another one here so you can see. Just going to cut your petal shape. And then for those of you who draw, you can probably come up with a better petal shape than I have. That's for sure. So you're going to do that. You're going to ink it all around both sides. I'm not going to ink this one because I'm just going to show you. Then what you're going to do, actually what I'll do is I'll ink the lines here so you can see what I'm going to do. Once you've done that, you're inking all around. You're going to cut one of these petals off. So I'm just going to do that right there. And this is where the inking helps. Keeps you right on your lines too. So you're going to take that off, take your petal out, and you'll end up with something like this. So you're going to do that to all 7. Then what you're going to do is you're going to glue this piece to this piece so that you're going to make a little flower cup. And you're going to glue it in there. I don't recommend two-sided tape. I recommend doing glue. So then you'll have little flower cups, and you're going to do that to all 7. Then what you're going to do is you're going to fold them in half. So you've got your little petals of 3 here. Okay, so when they're flat, you're going to take your first one, and you are going to put some glue just up on the tips here. Hard to see. Just, you don't want these to be, oh, it'd help if I add my glue going. You're just going to put a little bit on near the tips, not over, but just a little bit on the tips here, because you want this to be able to move. So just a little bit on the tip there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take another one of these, and you're going to line it up over that side, and then you're going to line one more on this side. Just kind of line your petals up. Now if you're like me and you're not that precise, it'll still work. So you can see right here I've got a little overlap. That's all right. These will still work. That is also why I collared the back side a little bit, so that if they do show, it's not a big deal. Okay, so then what you're going to do for the next part here is you're going to glue some more, and you're going to do just the tips again on this one, and this one. And you're going to take one of these and you're going to put it down right on those spots and try and line it up. But I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't stress if it's not. Okay, so then what you're going to do is we are going to glue. Let's just think here. That's right. We're going to glue this one. Wait a minute. Let me look at my notes. I just got to check the order. Hold on. Nope. I remember now. This one to this one, and this one to this one. Okay. So you're going to glue. Almost forgot what I was doing. Going to glue right here. Again, the tip. This one right here on the tip. This one on the tip. So it's going to be, yep. Ooh, I had to think about that. And that one. Okay. So now you're going to take your other one and you're going to press one on that side and one on that side, lining those up. Okay. And just press them down for a second. Then what you're going to do is you're going to glue the tip of this one. And once you've done these a couple of times, you'll remember the order. Obviously, you'll probably remember it better than me. But that's not that hard. And again, I just have a little note here to remind me. And then I'm going to put the last one on the top there. Now, one thing I have figured out is you can see at this point if they're not going to line up, and just adjust it a little bit. Press it in, but one thing I have learned is don't let it completely dry, because if you've got any seepage, it's going to show up now. So basically, you can see now if you stack it up, you've got the two top parts here, and you're just going to pull these out, and this is how it would be mounted on your page. So you can see I've got a few that don't quite line up, but I'm okay with that, because like I said, it's not supposed to be perfect. But you can see, so these would be the two sides here that you would glue. So you can see, folds back down, pull it back up, And there's your flower. I should probably pull it a little better so you can see. So it really didn't take that much to do. So now I'm just going to fold it back down. I like to just do it a couple times to make sure it's secure enough, but also, like I said, to make sure that nothing is sticking in where it shouldn't be sticking. Okay, so I'm just going to fold it back in half so you can see, and this is how it was when we finished the gluing. So I'm going to stick that aside. So when you want to put it in your journal, oh, that's not where I'd put it. Let me just get my page out here. Trying to find a page that I'd be putting it on. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'll just show you with a scrap of paper because there's a couple of reasons why I'm not going to glue this in right this second. So say you were going to put it in your journal. This would be, you want it so that it's popped up right over your seam here. So two things to make note, and yes, I did make these mistakes. This is why I know this. Don't put this flower attachment in until after you've stitched this into your signature or however you're putting it on your book. Or, oh, my camera's floating out of, not sure what's happening here. Sorry. Get my camera to zoom back in again. There we go. So definitely don't glue this page, this end of the page, until then. I made the mistake the first time. I glued it on, then I went to go and stitch this into my journal. Of course, you've covered up the area where you would stitch it. So don't do that, okay? Do your journal and all that. And this is nice. You can put it in after you've stitched in and before you start decorating. The other thing is kind of play with how your placement is. So you want to glue it in the middle, or maybe you don't. You want, however you want to glue it, if you want it on the top or the bottom. But another thing I have learned is before I glue it, kind of look at it, because here's my line. I'm just going to run some ink down here so you can clearly see my line that I'm talking about, which would be the middle of your spine. Okay, so there you go. Now the camera's focused. So here's another tip too. Don't put it right up to it. Space it back a little bit, because you obviously when you open and close it, you want to have a little space. And all I did was put glue on this piece right here. So right here, I glued this whole petal. And then when I laid this out, positioned it there, but back off just a little bit, like about a 1/8 of an inch, and about that much, okay? And before I glue the other side, so pretend that's glued, I flipped it a few times while the glue was still wet to see, and you can see here this would be more over this way. So play it around. You got to back it up enough so that you can open your page, but there you go. And then what I did is once this side was glued, after playing a few times to make sure that this fully opened, then I glued only this top petal here, which that's the one that you're pulling to make it open. Okay, and then that way, where they're both secure, this will open and close. And you could use, you know, whatever kind of paper you want. Like this one is a book page, but the original one here, I used offcuts of my paper. Sorry, that's my dryer going off. I used my offcuts to make all those little flowers out of the printed pattern paper. So you could do whatever you want on this, but I just thought it had a really nice effect. And then here what I did is I put some pieces of lace underneath, like they would be petals or leaves, sorry. Just a little saying on the side, but you could do so much more. If you wanted to stencil underneath this before you put that up, do some stencil leaves or something, anything like that would look absolutely perfect on there. But this is what I chose to do, and I thought I'd just show you today how to do this. As you saw, that was pretty fast. I think it really only took me about half an hour. The hardest part was the cutting and the inking of all the pages. So and there you go. It pops open. It's 3D because everything is only secured on the tips except for these two pages here. So you've got total flexibility in there. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit my like button. Subscribe so you'll see everything that's coming up. As it is, I am getting close to 500 subscribers. When I do hit 500 subscribers, I will be doing a draw. So please continue to watch. Pass me around to some friends who might be interested in my journal tips. Thanks for coming out. As always, I would love to see what you guys have done with these tips. Feel free to let me know, and have a great day. Thank you very much.